Welcome to the Widowed Parent Podcast with your host, Jenny Lisk.
Hey everyone, I'm here on the Widowed Parent Podcast live today with Julianne Green of the Den for Grieving Kids. Julianne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's great to be speaking with you. So let me ask you first, where are you located?
Yes, so the Den for Grieving Kids is actually a part of a larger nonprofit called Family Centers, and we are in Fairfield County in Connecticut.
Okay, so that's the southern part closest to Westchester County?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And so my office is in Darien, Connecticut, and our services, when we're in person and not virtual, are in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay, great. And do you serve only people who are within Connecticut then, or anybody who's nearby?
So we, when we're in person, it's all people who can commute to our program. So whether that's Fairfield County, parts of Westchester, even some parts of the city. And now that we're virtual, we've kind of been able to expand that.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So what are the programs that you offer for families?
Of course. So the Den for Grieving Kids is a two-part program. We have a school-based program, which is where our volunteers actually go into the schools, the surrounding districts during the school day and provide grief support to students, elementary, middle, and high school. So that's kind of part one of our programming. And our second part is the Den for Grieving Kids evening program, which is a family bereavement program. And we service ages 3 and up. So we have a littles group for ages 3 to 5, middles 1, ages 6 to 9, middles 2, which is 10 to 12-year-olds. We have a teen group, a really wonderful young adult group, child loss group, spousal loss group, general loss group, and also now a group for Spanish speakers. So a little something for everyone.
Wow. Okay. That sounds very comprehensive.
Yes. And we have amazing volunteers who help to run these groups. They're trained quarterly to be kept up on best practices and kind of best ideologies around grief and bereavement. Many of them have experienced loss themselves, and that's kind of what brought them back to the Den to kind of give back to the grieving community.
Mm-hmm. Terrific. And so you mentioned right now you're doing it virtually, but when you eventually do go back in person, is this like it's evening time at your center?
Yes, so our school-based program happens during the school day at the school, and our evening program is Monday and Wednesdays every other week.
Gotcha. Okay. And are the different age groups and parents at the same time, or do you, how does that work?
So we actually, and this is a really beautiful part of our program that I'm really missing now that we're virtual, we actually do dinner with all of our families. So from 6:30 to 7, we have pizza and salad and kind of hang out with one another. It's a great community building piece. And then from 7 to 8, everyone is in group. So the parents are in their group while the children are in their group.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Good. Well, I hope you guys can get back to that soon here. And you may have already said this, and forgive me if I've forgotten. Age group-wise, I think you said 3 and up?
Yep, 3 and up.
Okay, and is it for all types of loss, or what? Like, who is eligible to participate?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our family bereavement program tends to be an immediate or direct loss of parent, loss of sibling or child. Our school-based groups really open up, loss of grandparent, aunt and uncle, cousin, close friend. So that kind of has a larger parameter to it, our school program.
Gotcha. Okay. And what about cost to participate?
Cost is completely free.
Wow.
To everyone.
Okay.
Yep. So it doesn't even go through insurance. It's zero cost.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. And for your school-based groups, if a parent is wondering if they have a program in their school, or like how do they find out, or can they request a program if their school doesn't have one yet, but there's several kids who might need one?
Absolutely. So right now we are in the Greenwich, Norwalk, and Stamford school districts. We're always open to expanding that, always open to starting a new group at a school. It would really just be the school social worker contacting me saying that they have a need at their school, and then we could absolutely get something up and running. And we are still holding that piece of our program virtually. So it looks a little different, but we still have groups, elementary, middle, and high school.
Oh, good. Terrific. Yeah, I know some school groups have been able to continue now and some have not been. So I'm glad to hear that you're able to do that.
Yes, we can't physically go into the school, so still virtual, but we're still getting services to the kids, which is the most important part.
Yeah, terrific. So I guess backing up from the practical questions here, just maybe a higher level question: how can groups and programs like yours be helpful to grieving families and grieving kids?
Absolutely. I mean, our program is really about normalizing grief, normalizing loss, and building community. And so a lot of times especially our younger kids, they might be the only one they know that has, lost a parent or lost a sibling. So for them to be in a space with other kids their age and realize that they're not the only ones, and just to have it not be so isolating, is really kind of the first building block of our program, getting them into a safe space, normalizing that loss, and talking about it in an open way that they may not have the opportunity to do otherwise in their groups of friends or family who really doesn't have the ability to kind of understand exactly what they're going through in that point in time.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. And one question I always like to ask guests on my regular show, my weekly show, is if you could say one thing to widowed parents, what would you say to them?
Absolutely. I would say it's your grief matters just as much as your children's grief. And I think a lot of times parents try to hold it together for the benefit of their child. But modeling healthy grieving practices, normalizing, talking about the person who has died, really moving through it together and being able to model kind of for one another as you move through it as a family.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Of course.
So where can people who are near you in Fairfield County or surrounding counties, where can they find the Den for Grieving Kids?
Yes, so you can go to our website, familycenters.org. You can email me, call me directly. Will you be able to provide them with that info?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have a page on my website. This video will live there, and a link to your website and any other contact information you want to have on there.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and that it's just a matter of calling, emailing, reaching out, setting up a short intake with me before we can get people into the programming.
Terrific. Well, I hope that everybody who's watching who is near you will reach out and come to the Den for Grieving Kids. So, Julianne, Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Widowed Parent Podcast with your host, Jenny Lisk. Connect with us on social media and at widowedparentpodcast.com.